You are tuned in to Brooklyn Radio. Welcome to episode 2 of the More Beats Less Sleep Goat feed, where we play dope tracks and feature interviews with producers from around the world, possibly other worlds. My name is B.Moore. This week I am joined in a talk with co-host Chameleon Sessions and More Beats Less Sleep core member Jay Ford. As always, you can find a track list in the description. Find all these producers, listen to their stuff, follow them. You can find More Beats Less Sleep on all your social medias, Spotify's, all that good stuff by typing in More Beats Less Sleep. It's as simple as that. So without further ado, here is episode 2 of the Goat Feed.
More beats, less sleep.
Records. Some motherfuckers, they be bugging the fuck out, you know what I'm saying?
Oh! Certain people you just don't want to fuck with.
Some motherfuckers, they be bugging the fuck out.
Certain people you just don't want to fuck with.
Rock you in your face, stab your brain with your nose bone.
the launching base for advanced exploration.
Because there's another part of hip hop culture that people fucking love so much and embrace that other people just don't even really know that's part of the culture as well. Because of just. So yeah, I mean, I can go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying, like, you're 100% right. Everything is breaking kayfabe. I'm a big wrestling fan, so I use fucking wrestling terms all the time. Mm-hmm. But the kayfabe is dead. You know what I'm saying? The act of keeping all the fucking secret shit hidden is dead.
Right.
You know, half DJs can't keep a white label no more because everybody knows what every fucking sample is. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, the raps have boom off of everything. You look on everything, every actor is showing you their house and how they got into a role. And there's 4 videos on YouTube showing motherfuckers insides of everything on whatever. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is really secret anymore. So why should we try to do that? That makes no fucking sense.
No, that's true, man. Like my homie told me that he was like, I was really sacred about the wax for a few years, and then I discovered that all my samples were on YouTube anyway. So I go to YouTube.
And especially with sampling, bro, we're getting to 40, 50 years of this shit.
Yeah.
Bro, so much has been done. So much shit has been done. It's just motherfuckers didn't hear it because it was regional back in the day. And if your tape didn't pop off, it didn't leave the county. But that don't mean it didn't pop. And that don't mean somebody ain't already looped it better than you 20 years ago.
Right, exactly. But, I think the biggest thing with, now versus then is that everything then was few second loops, and now you just have such a massive capability to really fuck shit up and change it up completely.
Sample it on an SP12 to sample it on a DAW. Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah. Which was my point earlier. You know what I mean? The limitations and how much it cost. Only a few motherfuckers could do it. But now it's like generations of dudes that have been stewing ideas their whole lives, and now they can finally get either an illegal crack version or do like I'm doing now and just work your ass off and buy all your shit. Right. Well, I mean, after 15 years of robbing developers and fellow musicians and fellow beat makers, you know what I mean? At this point, I feel I owe all of them. I owe every one of those motherfuckers I ripped off, so I'm buying from here out. Straight up, that's just real. I owe every one of the motherfuckers because they're the dudes making it capable for me to do this shit. Absolutely. So, like, I feel strongly about that nowadays. If you can pay, then fucking pay. But if you can't, get it how you get it.
Absolutely.
Oh, for sure, man. It's the hunger, man. I remember when I first started, like, we started on a Tascam, but that went away quickly. I don't remember what happened to it. So we were doing Fruity Loops, but I didn't know about downloading a crack version, so I would just have the demo version. I'd keep the window open for like weeks on beats, and if my computer crashed, I lost that version.
Yes,
bro, that's how I got so fast. That's how I got so fast. When I couldn't get a crack version, and I'm 3 versions behind, and now I got a demo 2 versions behind, so it's better than the past one, but it's the demo, so I got a few hours before my computer takes a shit. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Because you can export, but you can't save.
Exactly.
Like, so I export that shit, or I'll export. Used to export loops and like recycle them back in and all that crazy shit. Just hurdles just to get a beat made.
Crazy. But that's kind of what I was saying. Like, when you do this shit, it forces you to look at how to use this motherfucker and really learn it.
Yeah, you gotta get in quick.
I got to the point where I was very basic loop rapper ready 40 minutes. Because that shit was going to die. So it's like, okay, go. It's good.
No, exactly. Like melody, drum, bass. Good enough.
Yeah, quick. And I'm going to throw some chords in the background real quick.
Yeah, exactly.
That's easy. And I was a theory kid back then, so I was like, ooh, I just learned secondary dominance. Let's do this. Yeah, bro. It was nerd. It was bad.
That's cool that you have that background. I'm the opposite. I have friends that know music theory that'll just like tell me when I did something. They'll be like, that was a cool polyrhythm. I'm like, please explain that to me. I know what you're talking about.
I know poly means of many, and I know what rhythm is. What is it when they are together? What are you saying?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I feel you, because I have to catch myself doing that, because I'm a very interesting dude who's gotten to live like I don't talk a lot about it, but man, to be in my town is maybe 38,000, but it's got a very successful junior college that I went to and a really good university, Cal Poly Slow here. So the daytime population here in a really small town jumps up to about 80,000. But it's still a small fucking place.
Right.
But it's musically rich. Like the school, Cuesta College, the JC, has an outstanding jazz department. Like the dude I took my jazz improv from played trumpet on the OG Flintstones and Hanna-Barbera sessions.
Oh, no shit.
So like the fucking, so like a like that shit, that's my teacher Warren.
That's dope, man.
Yes.
The trombone player in my first band got his horn, his bass trombone from his teacher at the time, who was another teacher on campus. That trombone played the Imperial March.
Oh, wow. Man.
What?
Like, these are the motherfuckers we learned from. The guy I learned theory from, like, when he was still in college in LA and fresh out of college, wrote half the music that we listened to on The Wonderful World of Disney in the 80s.
That's nuts, man. Fuck.
Like, they're all semi-retired or retired pros. So like this area here is ridiculously talented with music, but it's also not very culturally diverse. It's Whiteyville, USA.
Right.
My family, and you can tell, I mean, I'm from Central California, but I don't talk like it. My family's from Central Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They came out here in the 60s. So I'm one of few brothers here. You know what I mean? So I got to straddle this really cool line of being in the church scene, growing up in the church choirs and learning music that way, getting into high school choir, junior high and high school choir, and being like, oh, I can memorize this hella fast, because that's how we learn everything. What is reading music?
Right.
And then learning that, getting to college, having faked it all through high school, having to learn how to actually read, and then learning theory after that shit. And then going through jazz and all this shit, and then getting to be in a rap group with a bunch of dudes I didn't even know were rappers. They saw I had a band where I let freestylists come up and just grab the mic. I'm gonna just tell them what chords to play, and we just gonna vibe out so y'all can just rhyme, because there's no real opportunities. Again, it's Whiteyville, USA. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plenty of rock shows, no open mics for rappers. So I wanted to help change that shit. There was one night I had maybe 18 rappers in this little tiny back room of like our local beer joint, and it was fucking cracking. So they pulled me aside. We all started politicking. We got together to do a song. I went in to sing a hook. This shit sounded like we'd already been making music, so we started a group. Bruh, our first gig, we opened up for the Pack when fucking Vans was hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like, touring that album, and then after the show, everybody's like, you guys killed him. How long have you been doing this shit? We're like, we literally just started.
So did that feel regressive though, going from like that background to like rap music basically?
Bruh, here's why it was cool to me. Because I'm already an X Factor out here, and I'm actually doing this shit with one white dude in the group, a half black, half Mexican dude, two other brothers, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got some culture going here, and we actually getting attention. Like, we're playing major shows. Holy shit, from the jump. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck did we get big shows from the jump? You know what I mean? Like,
as opposed to just like otherwise like playing the standards or whatever.
You gotta play the bowling alley first, you know, for the bootleg promoter that's gonna promise all kind of shit, and the headline ain't gonna show up. You know what I mean? You gotta pay your dues. So it was like, and it ain't like we didn't. Trust me, we was doing that weeks after. But But still, we started off the bang. Our second show was Slick Rick.
Oh shit, dude.
Man.
Wow.
Bruh, I got to shake hands with Slick Rick, look him in the eye and be like, yo, hey, young world, I listened. Thank you.
Wow, man. That's dope, man.
Like, we opened up for Snoop Dogg when he played his first show here. We opened up for Ice Cube. We played with E40, I think 5 times. We played with Quit 4 times. Like, we played with Bone Thugs and Harmony twice. We got to chill with them on stage after the first show, and it was like, man, this town cracks the fuck off. We gonna come back and kick. So we all just sat on the stage and watched everybody with the DJ dancing and shit, and we got to hang out with Bone Thugs on the stage and have everybody just staring at us while we was chopping it up.
That's crazy, man.
Like, I've had the most beautiful, blessed, charmed musical fucking life. Like, from chopping it up with Thelonious Monk's son and him calling me out like, you're a fucking musician, huh? Hey, you want a cigarette? And then shooting at Thelonious Monk. You know, to a couple years later, fucking doing this shit with E40 and Snoop and having E40 remembers, oh yeah, I remember y'all was at it.
That's crazy, man. That's way crazy.
How did that factor into like what you're doing now, like that transition?
Here's what's nuts. I couldn't play shit. I was in all this shit as a singer. You know what I mean? But I was a jazz singer. And jazz singers, a lot of times, are looked at as just cute. You know, it's usually a cute girl who ain't too talented, or Michael Bublé. You know what I mean? It's some bullshit. You get a real musician and they gonna clown. And even in a gig, you know, they gonna look at the singer like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You don't know how to talk to us. So I was like, no, I want to be able to look at him and be like, yo, on that A flat diminished right there, we're gonna actually go up, you know, minor second right there, throw some fucking tension in that mode. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to talk to them in their language and let them know what I want. And kept progressing with that, you know what I mean? But I can't play anything while I'm going through all these courses that pretty much require me to play something. You know what I mean?
Right.
So Fruity Loops and that piano roll, you know how you can put in whatever type of chord you wanted? That was how I practiced at hearing how my composition sounded.
Oh, I feel that. It was the freedom to write your own music, basically.
Yeah, like,
instead of relying on everyone else.
It wasn't just that, though. It was the ability to take my homework and actually play it out. Hear what it sounded like. You know what I mean? So...
Right. So, yeah, so it's not just on the page. Yeah.
Yeah, I already wanted to make beats, but, like, beat making was actually me composing.
Right.
What it was, doing all this shit. So by the time we started this group, one of the dudes in the group I went to school with, and that's why he wanted me there, because he knew what I could do. And he's like, but you make beats too, right? And I'm like, yeah. And then everybody else was like, wait, what? So I played up the beats, and they were like, hold on, what the fuck? Because it was just me being on compositional, so there was 9 million chord changes and hella ups and downs, and the beat was 7 fucking minutes because it was a goddamn composition. That had fucking some crazy.
All right, that on that though, like that's what I love about your stuff is like I've never heard a beat from you that didn't like take me on a little journey in that way.
And that's what the fuck I'm talking about.
And it's got so many twists and turns too, man. You know what I mean? It goes one direction, and all of a sudden you're like in this whole fucking other street. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a big ass journey.
Is that not what the best shit you ever listened to does to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's what we're all striving for. I find it difficult though. Like I always hit a wall, and I'm like, all right, that's a beat. That's good enough.
But like so much of my shit at the same time, so many of my things, like people always ask, how do you come up with ideas? And a lot of my shit is literally based off of, like, literally a person. You know what I'm saying? And the vibe I get from that person or a situation. You know what I'm saying? That just happened. And one of them things that is just going to come up at every barbecue with your homies for the next 10 years. Man, that one night, though, when your ass decided to fuck with that fucking aftershock in 97, you know what I mean? Like, those moments, that shit creates, I'm that dude. You know what I mean?
So do you feel like you're scoring the moments like a movie of life?
Absolutely, bro. There's shit playing in my head all the fucking time.
Yeah.
I feel that. That's a super interesting way to look at it.
That's something I think about all the fucking time. The blessing and curse of technology is it's always put there to make things easier, but you're gonna lose an aspect of something with it. You know
yeah, that's the biggest thing when you're looking for music that's that you're when you're in your teens, and like me in my teens, I'm talking about late '90s, right? So, in being teens in Oklahoma City, and you're someone who is just so deep into music and searching out for just some deep shit, and then you get the hold of the internet, right? You get access to the internet, and you can just find all kinds of shit, man. You just go crazy, and you have all this access for music around the world, and that's the blessing part of it, right? But then when you start getting into exactly what you were talking about earlier, with any kind of notes that was on any kind of albums, you just lose all that. When you're just gobbling up all this music and shit, and you're just listening to it all, but there's no story behind it. You don't really know anything about it, which was a nice mystery. If you were that type of person to get into it and read about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if it's not there and it's not accessible, and the majority of the time people are not going to search into that, and you just lose it. It just gets lost over time. So yeah.
Man.
Yeah, there has to be a way to recapture it though. I mean, I think about this a lot. I've been trying to bring back the narrative form like a lot in my music, but do it in a way, I think, like I'm saying, like the songs are shorter, but I still want there to be like this internal build between like, all right, I'll start out with slow tempos and I'll up the tempo in the middle of the album, tempo range. We'll bring it back down, like still craft that experience, self-contained flow and all that.
Right.
But, maybe just different than it used to be. It's got to be a new thing now,
Mm-hmm.
The mechanics of it are different than they used to be. So we got to all find ways to like fall into that niche a little.
Oh, for real, bro. That's been the biggest challenge, is trying to deconstruct what I've learned all this time and who it's made me, and adapt. Get down and get left.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can also carry pieces of that to the new thing, which is the beautiful part of that.
That's the cool part, is being able to be that random nostalgia dude who's trying to figure out how to take these pieces of what is traditional. It's actually, to tell you the truth, it's nothing new to me because I'm a jazz artist, bro. And one of the biggest things in jazz, bro, is the beef between the young lions and the old lions. And it's always been that way. It's always been that way in jazz, bro. Anytime somebody comes along and does something different in jazz other than what's been traditional, it is a problem. It's always been a problem. So being of the hip hop generation, and going into jazz, oh man.
Yeah.
None of your teachers are having that shit. None of the heavies are having that shit. Ooh, they hate it. And sampling all of that too. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that's blasphemous.
That's fun. I could see that point. That's funny though, because in my head they've always been so like interconnected. Because I didn't get into jazz until I heard like I was listening to Tribe Called Quest samples way before I was listening to actual jazz. You know,
Tribe. To the reasons I kept Tribe is literally one of the reasons I studied jazz. Because it was like that Tribe.
How could you not with those beats? Like that's what got me into that style of music. And
because it was like, wait, that's that Tribe sample right there. Wait.
It always felt so interconnected to me. That's interesting to hear that there's like it makes sense though. They're like, don't sample our shit. That's original music we made. Make your original.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, we took what we had and we played our music of our experience. And I'm like, and that's not what the kids in the Bronx were doing?
That's exactly
when they neighborhood down and they had no music in their school programs, but they all the children of the fucking jazz age.
They did it with less than anyone else. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Bro, they did it with less material, but again, people forget. Who are these motherfuckers? They're in New York. They're the next generation of all the cats that were goddamn New York City fucking musicians.
Right.
They're the sons and daughters of the goddamn performers, man.
Yeah.
They're musicians with no music to play. Is in them. They already are better at this than everyone else, and it doesn't even exist yet.
Right.
Word.
You know what I mean? Like, of course they're the motherfuckers that were the pioneers. Of course that's how it worked out. But bro, they did the same thing y'all did. Y'all just had instruments.
No, exactly. They just had like ingenuity, basically.
Yeah.
They're telling their story of their experience, and people don't like it, and it's that nigger music. Just the same way y'all got it. Y'all had instruments.
Man, that's some profound ass shit.
It was something else before jazz too. Like I wonder if blues looked at jazz that way.
Oh, bruh.
Every generation has encountered that.
Calm down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure of it. I'm absolutely sure of it. It's like, why are you complicating it so much?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and they were probably looking down on them too, because you weren't playing jazz unless you were a trained musician. So you would have had lessons some way, somehow. And if you had lessons, then you were well-to-do. You didn't grow up in the Mississippi Delta, living on a fucking mud flat.
Right.
In your cut-off overalls, playing a fucking 2-string guitar with 2 teeth. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't you. Even if you were in New Orleans, you could be poor, but you were in a culture-rich fucking town back then.
See, that's funny to think how the economics factor into it again. It's almost like a pendulum swing there.
It is, man. I mean, this is some profound shit we're talking about, man. It comes around full circle. That's
cool that hip-hop kind of had the same thing. Blues probably had that same poverty thing going. I mean, it did. Like, that's what people were doing.
No doubt.
And you notice that the only motherfucking places this shit happens is American. It's all with the only true American art forms, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's all the shit that actually came from here, because this motherfucking place is brutal on people, and they got to tell their goddamn story somehow.
And that's what all the art is born out of, is like pain, you know?
Straight. Like literally at the rehearsal we was at tonight, it's a big like 100-voice choir with, you know, full symphonies and shit. And one piece is Johannes Brahms' German Requiem. You know, typical shit for that kind of group. It's badass. It's dope. It's dark as fuck. Brahms is the shit. Like, look this motherfucker up. Like, both of you, like, seriously. Listen to Brahms' Requiem. It's amazing. But at the flip, we're also doing a collection of spirituals composed by a white dude who studied for like 25 years of like West African drumming.
Wow.
And shit. You know what I mean? And it's like hella jazzy and shit.
Right.
But it's spirituals, and it's called The Journey of Harriet Tubman. Like, that kind of shit. And then, and that was the poor motherfuckers with no shoes on and had to go work. But none on their fucking feet. You know what I mean? And then you got the flip side, of this music that was played in Europe back in the day for only the rich folks and the royalty and shit. With these big elaborate orchestrations and full symphonies that still to this day, most string players do not come from poor families.
Well, yeah, I mean, how could they most of the time, you know?
Exactly. Especially these days with music out of schools the way it is.
No, I mean, that might be part of the reason the producer explosion is happening.
Oh, it's amazing.
In a sense, you know what I mean? It's like, I can't do that, but I can still make music.
Did we not just stop this when it happened in the Bronx?
Yeah, no, exactly. It's funny. It all comes back around. It's been coming back around for generations.
It's all been done before. It's all been done before. I get it. Now I'm old and I get it. Even when I was a kid, it had all come back around. And Tip was talking about it. The way that Bobby Brown was just amping like Michael. Come on.
Yes, exactly.
They was talking about it back then, bro. So like, it's all there, you young motherfuckers. Just listen to me.
in oblivion. Might be an alien traveling simian, sewn to a battery loosely based on reality. Voices softening off in the distance, persistent and baffling. Not lucid enough to refuse what I'm shown. So many doors and they all lead back to the place where the synapse connects to the shifting black. And I'm fixed on the action, sick on the motion, or dead in its absence, drifting and hapless. I don't think I'm asleep right now, this feels too natural, but hand me an aspirin. Might be a little bit much. Touch base with the God's head right at the crux of the sleep and the fear that I won't wake up. I'm stoked in the dust of the ego and I mean no harm, but might give two fucks on my way to obsidian. Mind's eye split down the middle, admitting the one hell of a time and ambivalence. Woke like pivoting, a tug at the fabric to make heartstrings snap like a pluck of the passion. I'm stoked in the dust, no spark in a vacuum, no spark in a vacuum.
You have to love the light, but you also must trust yourself to darkness. Be able to let yourself go.
Yeah, you are getting sleepy now. You should probably go lay down. You are getting sleepy now. Wake up. Something resembling sleep is creeping in, flickering lights in the sides of my eyes, and immediate sigh of relief, defeating the will to get back to the world that I'm wanting to leave. Leave it to me. Something resembling sleep is creeping in, flickering lights in the sides of my eyes, and immediate sigh of relief, defeating the will to get back to the world that I'm wanting to leave. Leave it to me.
Set your surroundings through life. I can understand the logic, however, it is how you process these surroundings once you are alone. You evaluate your decisions and the reactions of your decisions. How did your mind react when you met it? Youth is epitome of exploration before true consequence. In every dark, unexplored corner, it seems to be there watching. That cave. Why was the ground wooden? You knew this would come. Face it.
More beats, less sleep.